So good morning. This is day 2. I just gave a brief introduction so that we're ready to dive into day 2. And I'm going to share my screen to do that. Hide the floating controls. Here we go. Sorry for all this. So we're going to go down to what we reviewed yesterday. I gave it 5 stars. You guys are all wonderfully participating. So yesterday we covered upper and lowercase letter recognition. We covered phonics and sound association. We covered rhyming. We covered how to share a favorite, how to train your teacher, your child, to share a favorite toy and share a story. And we covered how to help your child with reading comprehension using picture-associated stories. So for today, we're going to continue with some reading comprehension. We're going to talk about the types of reading and review. We're going to develop comprehension. We're going to get started with writing, reading and building words, building sentences, and we're going to talk about staying inside the lines, when and when not to stay inside the lines. And I'm going to talk about sequential memory. So in developing comprehension, well, first of all, let me start off to remind you that you have to remember, have your reward papers, and remember to have your stickers. Let me see, where are my stickers? Remember to have your stickers so you can reward your child. And you can reward your child after 15 minutes because all these exercises will only be about 15 minutes. So some of the supplies you're going to need for this day will be, well, when you work with your child to read, to write, you're going to need thick pencils and a pencil sharpener. You're going to need wide lined paper. You're going to need some postcards so that you can write your child's name. You're going to use a whiteboard and a marker, some highlighters, Post-it notes to mark the pages, and getting a book that will help with, there's a lot of workbooks that help with outlining letters and writing. I use one from Kumon, and I'm not even affiliated with them. They have a really good book. So first of all, you're going to want to show your child the proper grip for holding a marker. We're going to start with the whiteboard, and then we're going to move to paper. So when I taught summer school, some of the therapists were showing kids to write like this, but this carries on when they go to kindergarten, and it's a hard habit to break. So let's hold our finger at the top, and for the children, it's going to be low enough so it doesn't have to be way up here. It's going to be low enough. And then they love to write on these whiteboards. So just let them start practicing with lines. And then they can practice circles. Look at how beautifully I can write. So this is the first step. We want them to have the right pencil grip. Now, you might have to start with what we call hand over hand. Some of the children don't have that strength in their hand yet, or maybe they've been writing like this. So have them hold their pen, the marker like this. You put your hand over him and you make the lines with them. And go across the whiteboard, make those circles, and we call that hand over hand. Just like when you used to be on the swing set and you'd have your child's hand on the straps of the swing and your hands are over them. So just gives them that extra security and that extra support. So when we write, we talk about the sky, the grass, and the dirt, because our uppercase letters will go in the sky, the middle part of letters goes in the grass, and letters that have a loop under it, like a G or a straight line like a P, those are going to be in the dirt. So you can mark your whiteboard like this. I could have it a little bit more balanced. And let me see. Some of the whiteboards already have those lines in them. So you want to have it in 3, talk about the sky and the grass and the dirt. So let me see something. Remember, I'm following the pattern of teaching letters the way the speech pathologist, Sheila Edmonds, has taught, because she says there's a progression to how children learn best. So we're starting with P, and the second letter is B. So when we do a P, we start and we show the child how to make the circle and then how to make the line, okay? And in the chat, I don't know if you could tell me if you're seeing this like a P. I believe you are. So when we teach the child the B, we're going to tell them, make the circle in the grass and put the line up into the sky. So this circle is in the grass for the P, and the line goes into the dirt for a P. And the circle, again, is in the grass, and it goes up to the sky for a D. Those are the first little strategies. One thing I really recommend is that you get little wood letters with your child's name. Kids like to see their name on their bedroom door, in their room, and the child can do a tactile exercise with that and can feel the letters. Let me see if I have it in here. So my student, his name is Stu Dent, but I bought these letters before I picked my student's name. So this letter, these letters will spell Tom. Tom loves to see his name in letters. So have him touch the letters, the T, the O. Let him touch the O and outline it and feel the hard wood. Let him make the M. Of course, these are all capital letters, but we're not even going to cover the letters of the student's name because we're starting with the P and the B and the D and the T. So we want them to start learning how to write their name when they go to kindergarten, before they get started. Next slide. So getting started with writing, we're going to use cubes and get the student, let me see something here. We're going to use cubes, and I'm going to use the word list that I have created. And we're going to have the child say the word pet. And you're going to tap it out. P-E-T. Then, no, okay. So it has three letters to the word P-E-T. And have them just write the P. They don't have to write all of it. So they write the P, and remember, you could tell them the letter name is P, the letter sound is P. And when we teach words, we have cubes that that represent the sounds. So we're getting started with writing, but this is still a little bit of reading continued. So I have these big cubes. When the kids get older, they're going to move to what we call circles. But right now I have cubes because they're really fun for the child to hold. And then I put them in a pie plate. And I'm going to pick 3 different colors for my word. P-E-T, pet. Let's have the child pick up a letter for P, a letter for E, and a letter for T. So they're spelling P, and they even can connect them. How fun is that? E, T, pet, okay? And these little cubes you can buy in a school store. So let's take them apart and let's do another one. Pan. This is a pan. So let's clap out the sounds for pan. P-A-N. And now let's pick some new colors out of my little bag. Okay. P-A-N. Pan. And pushes together, pan. And I'm going to do one more. I'm going to do something that has the P at the end and the beginning. Pup. I think I'll use the same color for the P at the beginning and the P at the end. So let's clap out those sounds for pup. P-A-P. Okay. P. And P. P. Okay? So we're changing colors, but there's a lot of flexibility in this. You can make a letter consistently be the same color, and that might reinforce. Like if you always want to let the P be red, always let the B be pink, you can do that. So if you continue with my trainings that happen later on, I will provide these word lists for you, and it'll make your job a lot easier in picking your words, because we're also going to do this when we talk about the P at the end of the word and the P in rhymes, like nip, dip, and hip. I'm going to do some rhyming words, and it's just the P at the end of the word could be cap, pup, and zap. So we have a lot of fun helping the child recognize the location on the paper when they start writing with the paper. And they're only working on the P right now. So I put my letters away, my cubes away. Let me see here. So that was actually building the words right there. And let's see here. So now we're going to build some sentences. And to do that, we use sentence strips. Let me put these down here. If you're having fun, can you put a little chat? I don't know. I actually can't see the chat. Oh, there we go. Yay, someone's giving me a high five. Okay. I've got so much to share today. I have a real surprise I'm going to share in a minute, but right now I'm going to hide it. So I was talking about these kind of boards you can buy at the 99-cent store. They have the letters at the top and the bottom for the child to follow. And the lines, here's that whiteboard. Kids like to use markers and they're easy to erase. But you also want to have paper so you can keep the progress, keep track of your child's progress. So here are some extra letters. I just copied this from the back of a tablet that you can get at a 99-cent store. And the idea now, we're going to have the child trace the letter. So I'm going to hold this up. I've traced it in highlighter yellow, And then I did highlighter yellow with dots, because I'm going to have the child connect the dots. And then I'm going to have the child connect the dots also. So now I want to talk about using, so, you know, we're not really, let me see. I'm going to go back to this slide because we're not teaching the sentence strips yet. So these thick pencils are what you want to get for your child. 99-cent store. Have the child hold his fingers, his or her fingers low, and he's going to go like this. So now he's going to outline the letters that I already wrote for him. Uppercase P and lowercase p. And we've already reviewed the letters, so he knows what uppercase and lowercase are. And then we have the broken line. He's going to connect the dots. And then I have 2 rows of that. So remember, this activity won't be longer than 10 minutes. Whiteboard and the pencil with the paper. Then I put his or her name on a paper, and I want them to do this every other day at least. So I write it in yellow, student, and then I have it written in yellow again with dot to dots. So he or she is going to trace it and say the sound while they write, student, and then connect the dots, student. That gives you the verbal, which is your auditory learning, and it's the kinesthetic writing. And when you speak, you hear yourself. How many of you have ever solved a problem? Raise your hand if you've ever solved a problem when you talked it out to someone and you went, wait, I just answered my own question. Yeah. So that is why we want the kids to talk when they write. There's just something about using all the multisensory components, auditory, visual, and kinesthetic. So I'm always going to have the student's name right in front of them when they're in their writing exercise. Someone asked me yesterday, how long do you have the students work? Well, when I taught preschool, 10 minutes was a long time for them. The goal was 15 minutes. So you might want to start with 10 minutes, set your timer, and work towards 15 minutes, and then move to another location in the house, and then give that sticker for that accomplishing that writing task. Okay, so that's information about writing. Oops. Okay. I'm glad you have a nice quiet room where kids aren't disturbing you or interrupting you right now. Maybe you have a friend or a spouse or someone that's taking care of them. Okay, so our next slide, we will talk about building sentences. What I would do is take that word list that I'm providing, and you can buy these sentence strips from, again, 99-cent store. You can have so much fun shopping there. So I wrote 3 sentences. The child will not write this much. The pet woke up. I'm going to ask the child, I'm going to say the sentence, the pet woke up. Where do you see the word pet? And they're going to point to pet. That's all they're going to do to help with writing. You see how this builds their confidence. They're learning something new. The pet ate food. Where do you see the word pet? And there it is again. It's the second place. And you could talk about, we always start our sentences with a capital. We always end our sentences with a period. Give me a high five if you like my slide with the stripes and how stripes tie into the animals. I thought that was fun, the zebra. So then the other sentence, thank you for those raised hands. The pet went out. Where do you see the word pet? And you have them point to it. So now I'm going to shuffle these sentences up, and I'm going to ask them to put them in the right order. So I have the pet went out, the pet ate food, the pet woke up. This is going to help with their memory. Which sentence would go first? All they're going to do is pick up the right sentence, that the pet woke up, and they're going to lay that on the table. Then the pet was hungry, so the pet ate the food. And see, this is how you make writing fun, reading and writing fun. And then the last one, the pet went out, and probably went out to play, right? So you're showing your student the sequencing of 3 sentences. That's all they're going to do with building sentences, okay? I have 2 more. Where's another one I wrote? Oh, I just used the word P, the letter P for the sound P. And they've already looked at picture cards, so they know that pup starts with a P and ends with a P. But now they're going to see the letters for it. So in this sentence, the pup is small. Point to the word pup. And they're going to point to the word pup right here. Here's my next sentence. I have a pen. See how pen is spelled? Point to the word pen. Right there, pen. And then we already talked about the sounds, p, e, n. And we push those little cubes together. So now they're making the connections in their brain, because this is based on brain research, the science of the brain. Once they see it in a cube and they hear it, then they see it in print. And here we have, we pay our bills. So point to the word pay, and they're going to see pay right here. Unfortunately, these strips, when you get your strips, be sure that there's some room for the dirt where the line can go under. I didn't think of that when I bought these, but I'll be keeping my eye out for it. And that's how we get them started with the sentence building. Let me do it here. Okay. So one of the other things I want to talk about is when to stay inside the lines. So this is when, well, I'm going to do a little commercial break. I bought some little cards, and this is okay to interrupt your teaching with a little break for something that's also a learning exercise. I have these little boxes that have a person, place, or thing. Okay, so this is a place. These are little cards. So I can show the child the card, and they would repeat after me. This is a town. This is a library. This is a farm. This is a bank. This is a hospital. So you get the point. There's places, and then they're gonna put those in the little box that are for places. Really fun. Again, it's that tactile, it's the color. These are the places. Some of the things are, a bicycle is a thing. We want to start teaching our children what verbs and nouns are, but we're going to start with nouns. So person, places, and things are nouns. You can touch this. Corn, television, cupcake. So these are things, and they're going to go into the thing box. And there's a little top like a bank, which is really fun for them. So after you introduce this a couple times, then you can mix 5 of the cards up and let them sort into the right box. And then the person is actually jobs. a painter, a firefighter, a garbage collector, a mechanic, a teacher, a doctor. So they have all the different jobs. And I got this from the current catalog, really easy, 10 bucks. So you can stock up your supply with your own tools to help. And we'll teach later how you schedule it all in. Give me a high five if you like those little cards and think they're fun. And you think the children would like them. Anybody out there for the high five? I know it takes a little while to find the keys. I'm actually going to move up here. Maybe get some high fives. Yeah, I'm going to go back here to look at some of the reading comprehension. I neglected to show you something that is really, really important. It was a special surprise I was saving. When we teach kids reading, we teach them different genre. One of the things we teach them are rhymes. And I just ordered these nursery rhymes that actually are flannel boards. So some of them, if you have a singing voice, you might want to sing to your child. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So they're learning rhymes. They're applying it to life. And I made a flannel board, which you can make out of a flannel blanket. And there's little pieces that I want to show you that are so exciting. So I'm teaching the rhyme, Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. And let me see right here. And I'm going to give the pieces to the child. I have a little boy, and I have the night cloud, okay? So we can say that if you don't want to sing, you could also say it. And ask the child, I want you to put the little boy up when I say, just whenever you want when I'm saying this story. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. So he's just going to put the flannel up. How I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. So that's one of the little rhymes, but it's a nursery rhyme, but it's something that now that the child's learning about rhymes, it's going to make more sense. I have a wonderful one I want to share with you. This one is, hey diddle diddle. Hey diddle diddle, the cat in the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such a sport, and the dish ran away with the spoon. Remember that nursery rhyme? Give me a high five if you remember that nursery rhyme. Okay, good. So I'm going to take out my flannel board. I'm going to put the background in, okay? So here is the moon. And I'm going to give the child the pieces. A little tricky right here. Oops. So just so I can show you, hey little diddle, there's a cat in the fiddle. And cat in the fiddle. The cow jumped over the moon. Here he goes. Let the child put the cat over the moon. Put the cow over the moon. The little dog laughed to see such a sport. Here he is laughing. And the dish ran away with the spoon. And there's the dish running away with the spoon. So you can imagine if you did 10 minutes of this, you could get 3 done. And if you continue with me, we'll go through all the flannel boards I have. I just got these on eBay. Somebody created them and wanted to pass it on. But there's Little Miss Muffet, Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Going Around the Mulberry Bush, Baba Black Sheep, Humpty Dumpty. Oh, and they're also fun and colorful. And your child will love doing these because it'll feel like play. But it's learning. So they're learning rhymes. Look at this, little sheep. Mary had a little lamb. Oh, so fun. So I will show more of those in further classes. Okay, so now I want to jump to one of the slides that talk about when to teach your child to stay in the line. When I was teaching, well, I did a lot of substitute teaching when I worked on my doctorate. And I was always surprised in kindergarten, some children knew how to outline their pictures and some didn't. And I knew it was just a matter of them needing to be taught. And some didn't even know the right colors to pick. Some children didn't know how to color up and down. So first of all, you need a picture that is interesting to the child. Who doesn't like an alligator, okay? So you get pictures that the child likes to color. Rhinoceros. So this is just a jumbo coloring pad. And I actually used this in the summer school years ago, so some of the best pictures are already gone. But there's elephants and cars. So you have to have a big picture. You're gonna get these jumbo crayons, like I have in my slide, because they don't break so easily. When a child's using the thin crayons, they're gonna break. And then that's when those teachers collect all those baskets of broken pieces. And then they use them for crafts because they melt them down and then they make stained glass and they recycle them. But to help the child use that pencil grip on the crayon, you need to teach the child, start from, whatever you prefer. You can start from the inside out. You can start from the outside in. You can go from left to right. So just because we're teaching reading, I'm going to just encourage left to right. So at starting, you can make a suggestion for a color. Let's do the color brown. I'm going to outline this picture of a policeman. There's a policeman on a motorcycle, getting the child thinking about careers already. So I'm going to pick brown because I'm going to color the fence. So starting from the left, I'm going to outline all the wood or half the wood. But what you want to show your child is to outline, because then they're going to color inside. Teach them to color up and down, up and down, up and down, okay? They don't want to color in circles. When they outline it, the crayon puts a wax coating on the outline so that their crayon's going to naturally stop easily, which is a really nice trick. So let them outline, color inside, outline, color inside. Maybe that's, instead of outlining a lot, outline, color inside. So they're going to see how easy it is. And there's a lot of room for them to color and move around. And then you can pick the blue for the uniform and pick, you know, the Crayola big boxes have so many wonderful colors, but let that be a goal when a child goes to first grade or second grade and crayons aren't breaking so much. So they can just use these colors for now. That's a real important part. So that's when we stay in the line. When you don't care if the child's in the line, chalk, fun chalk. So children are learning to water paint in kindergarten. You can do some water painting. There's no lines in water painting. But this sidewalk chalk is so fun. This could be a little break, but it could be a learning break. Go outside. Let's practice the P words outside. Pan, pat, and they could use different colors, and they don't have to worry about being in the lines. Give me a high five if you think that's fun. Thank you for that participation. Okay, I want to talk to you about sequential memory. When I test students for special ed, it was real interesting how they can't remember a sequence of 2 items. And I remember I had a little sister who could build puzzles beautifully, and she just remembered where they went. And the more she did the puzzles, the faster she made them. And when kids are taught to look at pictures and identify things, so here we get magazines all the time with colorful pictures in them. You could have the child point to the 3. So if you tell them this is a parrot, I want you to point to 3 parrots. They will point 1, 2, 3. Okay? So then ask them, point to the parrot, point to 1 parent, and then to the little boy. So they'll point to the parrot and they'll point to the little boy. Then you say, this is, and name it, an anteater. Point to 1 parent and then the anteater. Then they'll point to the parrot, point to the anteater. And you always give them praise, good job. Then say, point to the parrot, then the anteater, then 1 boy. They'll point to the parrot, point to the anteater, and then 1 boy. You're going to be surprised how difficult it can be for little guys, but it's really good practice to develop sequential memory. And here's another picture that I actually have used because this is called a lantern, and these are bats, and this is a lion or cougar, and a baby lion or a cub, and a monkey. So when kids know their animals, you could say, have them look at it for about a minute, and let them look at the whole picture. And then you could say, point to the monkey behind the tree. So you're developing vocabulary because this monkey is behind a tree. And then you could say, point to the monkey and then the 3 bats. So they'll point to the monkey and the 3 bats. Then you could say, point to the giraffe and then the tiger on the ground. They'll point to the giraffe. Oh, that's not a giraffe. That's a spotted tiger. And then the leopard and then the tiger on the ground. So different pictures are going to have a lot of colors and a lot of excitement. You want to start with pictures that are in the center and gradually move out. When a child is developing that sequential memory, you can spread the items out on the page because when you say it, their eye and their brain catches onto it. When you say the next item, their eye and their brain will go to the next item. So the further they're spread apart on the page, the harder it's going to be for your child. And then taking it to another level, you might have a picture in your magazine that has pillows on a couch or a lamp. And you could say, if the lamp is on the table, touch this. Because they're going to be thinking, and so this is developing critical thinking. If the lamp is on the table, touch the pillow. So you're going to be able to develop different skills with that. Okay? Give me a high five if that's something new that you've learned. So the interesting thing is, good, thank you for that participation. Oh, this opened up. This is why I used it. And this was just a mailer that I got that was advertising. I don't even know where it was from. But the minute I saw it, I grabbed it and I kept it, and it's been very helpful. Um, so you want to keep your eye out for magazines and pictures that you could be collecting, because as we talked about yesterday, beginning and ending sounds of different letters, you want to start putting them in Ziploc little baggies, lunch baggies, or paper clipping them together. And that's when I work with special needs children. I never realized 1 in 5 children has dyslexia. And in our nation, we have developmental dyslexia and we have genetic dyslexia. People wonder, what is developmental dyslexia? Well, that's when children are taught to memorize words, and they're memorized as a picture. So it goes to the right side of the brain. So when we teach them at a young age how to sound words out and understand word parts, they're not going to be developing dyslexia. They could have signs of it if it's genetic. One of the red flags for dyslexia in children is that if they're not rhyming by age 3 or 4, that could be a problem. So that's just, you know, our governor in California wants us to early assess for dyslexia in our kindergarteners and our first graders, just like we do vision and hearing. So let's take an initiative and teach our children in preschool so that when they're in kindergarten, they're doing right on. 1 out of 5 kids has dyslexia. So we can help the kids when they're young. And oh my, this helps their self-esteem so much. So now I have questions that I want to answer. I mean, I want you to be able to answer your questions. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Oh, I have to press escape, stop share. And if you, okay, so Teresa has to go. Thanks for being here, Teresa. And so my other Teresa D, if you have any questions, can you put them in the chat, please? Let's see what kind of questions you might have. I'm glad you're having fun. Okay, so not too many questions, and that's okay. I am going to share my screen again then and share with you what the next steps are. Because I've had so many, well, parents are asking me, how can I help their preschoolers? But I want to help them with their preschoolers. So, are you ready for phonics mastery? I'm going to have a 2-hour webinar coming up. It's going to be reading and writing, and it's going to be a virtual event. And the dates are May 28th and May 29th. And who is this for? It's going to be for parents, grandparents, relatives, friends, anybody who would help your student. And we're preparing them for kindergarten. What the learning outcomes will be is day 1, you're going to learn how to create structure for these positive learning outcomes, how to schedule your activities, how to build comprehension by teaching popular nursery rhymes, how to help your child ask the right questions. Day 2, you're going to learn how to read and make letter substitutions with deletions. You're going to learn how to help your child write. You're going to learn how to help your child understand writing and writing them, understand sentences. You're going to learn how to help your child develop confidence and develop sequential memory. And we're going to touch on some social skills because it's so important that children learn to sit still, raise their hand, take turns, say they're sorry, when they've done something wrong. They need to learn to listen, and they need to learn not to tattle. So we're going to touch on some of those social skills. So helping preschoolers get to kinder, it's the first day is 1 hour. Hope you can read this. The first day is 1 hour. Normally I would charge $300 for that hour. The second day is another $300 for a total of $600. But I'm giving a discount today to $400, but for the first 15 people, just $197 for those 2 days. So you're guaranteed that you will learn many tools for your child, getting them ready for kindergarten. I'm going to add on a value of my book, A Message of Hope. This is a book that I authored because I worked with dyslexic children and I use music to help them learn. And I didn't talk about using music in the background, but that's something we'll talk about when I have my training. And then you're going to get the web app for your child, which is free for a month. And that has letter names and sounds on it. That'll help your child develop that. So the web app, you can take this information down because you sat through this webinar. I am letting my training people access the web app. This is my the web app access. And if you write this code, KZ9B for David, D as in David, that's your special access code. So well, I can't see your high five, but I'm sure you're writing it down. And so the other extra values I'm going to be adding for this coaching is a 30-minute coaching valued at $100. The assessment pages that I created, which we talked about on day 1, I'm going to include them for you. Picture cards that I've developed for my reading program, I'm going to send you a copy of those and you could print them out. And you could have your child, you could color them and sort them. I'm going to send you the alphabet letters that I've developed. So the picture cards are valued at $100. My alphabet cards valued at $25. If you were to purchase a full set for the reading program, I'm going to give you A to Z. Again, my book is valued at $15. My app is valued at $10 for the month. And so that's a whole total value of extras at $385. And like I said, for you, it's only going to be $199 if you text me. And my number, again, is right here. It's 626-664-9392. And that wraps it up for us today. Let me quit my share. And I want to see if you have any more questions. You can put it in the chat. I'm so glad you joined us today, all 20 of you. You're very welcome. I'm so glad you were here. And I look forward to hearing from you for $197 to get this wonderful bonus. Mark the days on your calendar. And I want to thank you and wish you a very blessed next 2 weeks. And God bless you. Bye-bye now. Dr. Marianne Cintron with Step-by-Step Dyslexia Solutions. You can also access the website at www.dyslexia-solutions.com. And Teresa mentioned she enjoyed learning about the sentence strips. I'm really glad. Anything else before we close out? I'm really excited to share all the flannel stories that I got, the nursery rhymes. They're going to be so much fun. Okay, well, thank you for joining me this morning and participating. I look forward to meeting you again soon. God bless you and goodbye.